So baby, dry your eyes. Say all the tears you've cried. Oh, that's what dreams. 'Cause we belong in a world that must be strong. Oh, that's what dreams are made of.
Good morning and welcome to the 802 Iracing Leagues podcast. It's Sunday, April 26, 2026. It is the race day for the 802 Cup Series championship race at Kansas Speedway. Our first ever full length 267 lap extravaganza. I'm your host, Rob Lowell. As always, my faithful co host, Brandon Garrand, is here. Brandon, how are you doing tonight? Or this morning?
Doing good, Rob. Getting ready for my own special kind of race day. I will not be able to make our full length race tonight, unfortunately, with a couple rainouts at my local dirt track the past few weeks has pushed this back to this week. But yeah, I mean, I'm still just as excited for it. Won't make it back for the beginning, so obviously can't start the race. But I'm hoping to join Brett in the booth to help him call maybe the second half of this race or the second three quarters. So yeah, it should be a good race tonight.
What time's racing started airborne today? Is it
Four
four?
o'clock.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll let you know how we started at hot laps at 4 yesterday. Doubles wall race started at 5, and I rode out of the track at 11:15 last night.
So
So
so I was gonna go last night, and that was part of my deciding factor. I was like, it's a 4 o'clock start. I don't know if I'll be back home much before 1 o'clock midnight because it's a 2 hour drive from Devil's Bowl for me. So I was like, and with me having to work a little bit later due to the old Maple Fest, the old Vermont Faithful Maple Fest.
oh
So
yeah, yep, up in St. Albans.
yeah, yep. Up in St. Albans, we had a couple beer vendors that basically could drink free for the day. So I mean, couldn't refuse that offer.
Yeah, so yeah, we raced Malta
We
Friday.
finished good yesterday.
Yeah,
Yep.
we raced
Start with
Friday
Friday.
Malta. We had Friday was doubleheader, big block and small block, both divisions in actions. We raced both of them. 19th to 12th in the small block. We finished 7th in the big block. Good night. And then
Cars both in one piece, like you like
yeah,
as you always
there
say,
wasn't a
cars were in one piece.
mark on either car. So we ran the same small block car that we ran at Malta yesterday at Doubles Bowl. We turned it around yesterday morning. Was in the shop early, loaded up, left Middlebury about noon. Got down the track, unloaded. We were off in warm ups. We were off in time trials. Um, kind of just went back to the basics for the heat race. Had a lot more side bite. And then we just focused on getting some more drive off and come feature time. The car was really good. He was able to run the top, just throw it into one, pound the top both one and two and three and four, and drove from 17th to fourth. So yeah, great run at
That's
what's
what
our home track. It's been our team's home track since the 80s. So
I was gonna say.
felt
What,
good.
probably half-hour drive?
Yeah, about 35 minutes in the shop.
Yeah.
So yeah, it felt good.
But yeah,
Got a good run. And
I saw that 17th fourth. I was like, damn, that's good because everybody else pretty status quo. I think most of the runners were +2, -2, +3, -3. Like, not Justin though. Justin was +13. I guess that math is. So yeah, really good run.
yeah, and it was early on. The track had two lanes, and I mean even the bomb lane late was good. It was hard to pass, so you really had to run the top and build a run pretty much into three, and then throw the slider, clear the guy in the middle, and slap in front of him, bang the cushion, and drive off. It was classic dirt racing, so it was good. It was fun watching Justin learn, figure out how to time the run to get to get clear on the slider. So him and Bobby Hackle had probably a 20-25 lap battle. Justin would get the run 2 or 3 times and just not be able to quite clear enough to complete the slider. And then you'd lose a third of the straightaway down the front stretch because you're in the black exiting four and got no drive. So finally was able to get by
Yeah.
Bobby in lap traffic, and then we're running down the top four there, top three, sorry, no top four at that point. He was running fifth at that point, and we got a late yellow and restarted restarted fifth and got it was able to keep fifth, get clear, and then he just executed a textbook slider on Timmy Fuller, so to get fourth there, two to go. So yeah, it was a fun night. But that kind of put me behind on league stuff this weekend, so I've been last 45 minutes rushing to get rosters caught up and updated. The podcast stuff didn't quite get the graphics. I got the results up for the Busch and the Cup and the we got the Cup standings going into Kansas, so we'll be good.
Yeah, they get to hear our voices. That's all that matters, really, I think, to them.
Yeah, and our team's taking today off from Airborne. We'd usually be there with the small block, but it's Todd's wife's birthday, and Justin's wife just got home from being gone from a week for a week with their son Blaine. So they're gonna have a family day today. So that's good. Um,
Those 3 day race weekends can really burn you out. So yeah, especially early in the year, take advantage when you can. I mean, yeah, because that Super Dirt Series that's a grind right there in itself. So definitely take advantage of them family days when they can do that.
yeah, and it's even for the rest of us, it's good. We all have Monday through Thursday through Friday jobs, so it's good to get kind of a day to relax and get stuff done before we go back to work tomorrow. So, like you said, soon enough we'll be at Memorial Day weekend where that's a four race weekend, and
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
it gets crazy. I mean, we're running like 60 to probably 70 races this summer, so
That's what I was gonna say. He's probably running close to 70 races this year, so
yeah, it's
it's there's plenty of nights to race when you have that many starts that you think you're gonna have.
just remember a bad night at the racetrack still better than a good day at work. So,
That's for sure. I don't doubt that. I lived it many times.
so we're a week behind. Just the way the podcast is falling now, we're a week behind on the Busch Series. So we're going to talk about two races ago with the Busch Series. We're going to talk about Nashville Super Speedway and the race there. You're going to have to dig back in your memory to
In the brain.
recall that because I've been at Malta the last 2 weeks. And then we'll talk about last Sunday's Nashville Cup Series race. Then we'll get into this week's um, Kansas preview. So let me switch over here to the results, and while you're running through the
Oh,
top
geez.
five, I'll get the rest of the results up on the page.
Yeah, I actually just noticed when loading my results, I haven't even uploaded Friday's results yet. I got off the sim really fast Friday night, so let me just upload those really quick for ourselves.
It seems weird to um, see no pending races on the Bush side.
Yeah. It so yeah. Last Friday, April 17th, we raced Nashville, and it was points leader Logan Kogar that came away with the win. And it was a tight biter compared to what the results may show. I finished second. Steve Ritter finished third. Dustin Coggins finished fourth. Rick Kennedy Jr. finished fifth. Landon Audette sixth. Bryson Anderson seventh. Johnny Barker eighth. And Frank Zingen was ninth. Only 9 cars, so we've kind of noticed that the trend has been trending downward the last, I don't know, what would you say, 5 to 6 weeks, where we've gone from a good 20 consistently to then we hit the 15 number, and then yeah, last week we couldn't even gain 10. So we get it. Summertime's coming. It's nice out. I mean, it's been beautiful the last 2 weekends here almost. So I get, and we're up in the northeast corner, so I can only imagine the weather's nicer down south to the west. Like I get it.
Yeah, and a lot of our
Oh,
guys that race with us, they race for their life. They go to racetracks for their life to watch. They don't race. So
yeah,
Friday nights is just not a good night in the summer to run a league. Um,
yeah,
you know,
but Yeah,
So
so Logan comes away with a win, and essentially with that win right there, I think Alba had locked him up the championship. He was 41 points up on Dustin after Nashville, and basically, like, theoretically, Dustin had a chance if we had a full field of cars, but Dustin's best chance was for Logan to not show up this current race this last week. So that did not end up happening. So Logan Kogar essentially locked up his championship at Nashville, and yeah, it was an interesting race. From the get go, I kind of did the math again, and it was just kind of like Atlanta. I was like, all right, fuel mileage race, and from the math I did it, we were going to be about 8 to 10 laps short if it ran green from the start of the race. Well, then we got a caution on lap one, and that kind of threw a little curveball in it, where everybody pitted except Logan. Logan did not pit. So from there, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I wonder if he just doesn't think he can do it even from stopping from here. So then, as the race goes green, surprisingly, to make it to like the halfway point of where we wanted to fuel, Logan actually went further than almost anyone else. Oh, that's besides, I think me and Dustin went the furthest, but up until his technically his first 4 tire pit stop, Logan had went further than any other guy that had what came in and topped off. So that kind of surprised me. I was like, huh, maybe Logan can make it. And yeah, it got towards maybe about 20 to go, and me and Dustin really started noticing that kind of like the same thing as Atlanta, Rob, where I had really good tires at the end of the run. We both had super tires because we were doing the clutching the whole time. And we made our way up. Dustin got up to fourth, and I got by Steve, and I'm like, man, I'm really chasing Logan down here. And unfortunately, I came up 1 lap short, I think. So he ran out, I think, as he said he crossed the line, but I don't think even if he runs out, like if he had a fuel for another lap, I think I could have passed him because I had that much better tires where I'd chase him down probably from 6 seconds down within the last 10 laps, and I only ended up like a half second behind him coming to the checkered flag. So definitely had more pace, but he was also battling some lap cars that had come in and got tires late because they had blown some tires. And yeah, it became with only 8 car, or not even 8, 7 cars running at the end of the race. It became a really interesting call for Brett, I still think, with is Logan going to make it on fuel? And yeah, it was exciting, but came up just 1 spot short myself, and it was still a fun race. I like Nashville because it's a very different type of track where it can race like a mile and a half, but you do have to be on the brakes in the corner a lot, as you know.
yeah, I know we talked a little bit last week, and you said it would be a good race to talk about because it actually, even with limited car count, it had some drama in it. So um, good that you guys were able to race and it be interesting and not be over with 20 to go. So
Yep.
um, let's just look back. First season with the Busch Series. Running the O'Reilly cars. We call it the Busch Series because, well, some of us are old crap, old fucks, and we want to relive the glory days of the Busch Series, right? But
Yeah.
we, I just wanted to see here real quick. I'm going to scroll to this point standings, uh, and I'll go back to Nashville so we don't spoil nothing
Yeah.
before I drag it over. Okay. We've had 63 guys race. We had 63 guys racing the series this season. So for a series that we really, I think we threw it together maybe 2 weeks before the season started, if
Yeah,
that. It was kind of a
it
last
was
minute deal. I was pretty happy with the season and how it went. It gives us something to build on come the fall. I feel.
yeah. Yeah, I think we'll refine it a little bit. I mean, we've all floated out a few different ideas to how we can make it more longevity wise. I kind of like the idea of splitting it, like after we race technically one season up till Christmas ish, and then where we take like them 2-3 weeks off, take forward there, or if we go a little bit longer until we'll figure out some ideas, but we got to figure out a way to keep the numbers higher or keep the interest within the league longer, because I feel like maybe the race season was too long to where you get to race 15 to 20 and you're like, oh, I'm 300 points back. I ain't even got a chance at this championship. I'm gonna go find something else to do that's probably starting around now. And I think that's kind of what happens with some of these guys throughout the season. So
Yeah, it's either that
definitely,
or I'm just not sure if Friday nights when you get into mid March or beyond.
yep. That's the
Down
other thing
south
too. I
things
think,
are starting to percolate
yep,
and get going. I think
yeah, they percolate.
the Friday night season will end earlier next year. Because I
Yep,
look at our
definitely.
Cup
Yep, that's
series, and it was only 2 races ago we had over 30 cars. Well, yeah, Homestead. Um, our car count on the Cup side has been staying high 20s, mid to high 20s, and low 30s. Um, Now part of that was the playoffs, maybe. So maybe maybe we keep the we kind of did a chase style
yeah.
playoff
I
this
think
year.
that's what I would
Um,
like to go back to is more of a chase.
yep.
Because
And we've talked about the summer series for the Cup just doesn't work because we know it's
it's not
vacation
long enough.
time. People are gonna miss stuff. So you can't have, especially with Labor Day being the end of the summer and what's the end of our season. It's really hard. Guys take time off that time of year. They're gonna miss races. So um,
And especially when, as we'll do the playoffs, we make it so you can't drop those races. Technically,
right.
those are essential races. So yeah, if somebody makes the playoffs and they're like, oh, I got a 2 week vacation planned up, I can't even. Yeah, it just
Well,
doesn't
yeah,
make
and
as much sense
it's not
this
even a
that way.
2 week
But
vacation. Most people when they go on vacation, they take a full week off. They might take the Friday before, so they leave on Friday
yep,
and they stay to the
yep,
following Saturday or Sunday. Now all of a sudden they're missing two Sundays. So
yeah, that's
we
usually what me and the kids do. We'll leave on a Friday, and we won't come back until the following Monday. So we're gone about 10, 11 days. Like
yeah
that's a vacation. Because I planned in the travel days. Those
yeah
aren't my vacation. While yeah, I'm traveling.
yeah.
That's not my vacation. My vacation's when I get to my destination. That's when that starts. It's not fun traveling with 2 kids. That's not a vacation.
No. Okay, so
But
last Sunday night the Cup Series was at
well, do you
Nashville.
wanna
What
just finish the Bush season and then we'll get into the Cup, or do
I
you
figure
wanna?
I figure we'll finish the Bush
Okay,
season.
okay. I
We'll do
didn't know how you wanted to.
the
Yep.
Kansas Bush season when we do the Kansas Cup next. We're gonna have to do it next week to recap Cup, so we'll just
Oh
keep
yeah,
it.
yeah. We'll do that. I think you had meant we can mention that at the end, but I
Yeah,
think we have some special guests that you want to interview next week, or is that not part of the podcast? Is that just the talk?
let's figure that out.
Okay. Yep.
I'm not sure.
We are way behind on planning because of race season, so I get it.
Um,
You've been busy.
so we went to Nashville with the Cup cars last Sunday night, and high drama for every single playoff driver except Anthony Calatoni. I guess that's the safest way to say it, right?
Yep. Trying to think back. I don't remember Anthony having
Started lap
any real issues at all.
no, um, started lap two. Um, Playoff
Yep.
drivers Jim Ott and Johnny Barker get together. Johnny goes spinning, and Nick Larson ends up getting collected in it. So you right there, you have three of the five championship drivers
Yeah. Nick
in
just
it.
had a rough, and I felt so bad for Nick all night.
Yeah, and I made it through. Anthony made it through. Um, Later in the race, um,
Well,
Josh.
I'll even say Jim technically made it through that. He kept going. He was fine because
Yeah.
after that, Jim took the lead. Like he was
Yes.
leading most of this, and
Yep.
then he ended up getting a penalty later in the race, and that kind of what screwed him. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll talk the penalty real quick. So he's a leader. Um, rolling into the restart, coming to the restart zone. We made a rule change 3 weeks ago. I would say now, right?
yeah, where
Probably maybe a month ago now.
we actually turned the box on.
We actually turned the restart zones on because we had an issue in the Busch Series where a driver was slowly increasing his speed well beyond the pace car speed, and then firing. Um, so we talked it over as admins and with the league, and the decision was made to turn the restart zones on. That puts the speed limit in there, so it's
Yeah,
just
we just
about.
figured it's better to take our judgment call away from it and just
Yep.
let iRacing do it.
And I think I don't. I think it was just a case Jim wasn't really paying attention to his speed coming to the box, and he was about 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. And what sucks there is everyone else is too. The outside car is, the guys behind him are, but
Yeah, because everybody else's pace is based off what
yeah,
he's doing.
and
Yeah, it sucks. He's the only one that gets burned for that. But
yep. So he gets the black flag, has to do a drive through, comes out on the tail on the lead lap, but um, has to fight his way back up through. So
Nashville's not the easiest place to pass at.
no, so we'll get into the full results here in a minute, but um, that kind of put Jim behind the eight ball. Um, I just
Yeah,
was,
then you were looking like the next good. Oh, shouldn't say good hope, but like the next playoff driver that could contend maybe to get up there with Anthony, and then yeah, I mean you can
yeah,
explain it better than I can because you're the one driving the car.
yeah. So I actually, I was only I'd say a sixth to eighth place car all night at a track that I'm usually pretty good at. I just struggled on it all week, even in practice. Um, but we had a caution around, I want to say around 90 maybe, um, and not many. I think I was only maybe me and one other person. Or I think a couple of us went in, but I think I was the only one that took tires, and I was gambling it was going to stay green. Um, and my tires were going to be like 15 laps, 13 laps newer than everyone else's when I did that.
Mhm.
Um, and if it stayed green, I felt like I was pretty good strategy. Maybe go up there and steal a top two, maybe even a win. Um, but first three laps, I locked the tires up, get into one, slid the front tires, got up heat in the right front, I cooked it, and I ended up, I think I was, what was I, seventh or something maybe. I just killed my
You
right
ended
front
up eighth. Yep.
early in the run, and I was off pace the rest of that run. So kind of another self-inflicted wound to a playoff driver. So I knew better. I kept telling myself, you just pace yourself here. You're gonna 20 laps in, you'll have the advantage. But I got down inside a couple guys trying to make moves, and just locked up the right front, slid it, and as you and our listeners know, Brandon, once you slide that right front a couple times,
It's
you've heard it. So
yeah, it just don't want to turn after that. But
Nick had like 3 minutes
John,
of damage in that lap two incident. He's trying to get it repaired. Really didn't have enough cautious to get it repaired. He's running around the back. Josh Parker's ahead of him, and Josh clips the apron getting into one, and Nick go
yep.
around on the outside, and the car just Josh's car just makes a hard right turn, and just wipes Nick out. Nick is done, meatball. So
Yeah, Nick had. I think he got involved in that first one. I think he was involved in another one before the Josh Parker one. Like when I was watching replays, I'm just like, this guy has no luck tonight.
yeah, he
He
had
has no luck. And yeah, I mean, Johnny has a good recovery. He gets back up to fourth after his. He had a bunch of. I couldn't avoid him on that first lap. I thought I killed him, and luckily I got him more in the door than the left front because I would have. That was I locked it. I couldn't do anything, but slide into him, and I think Nick was actually the one behind me, and that's where I got both of them. Nick got me in the back, and then I got Johnny, so I felt bad about that. But luckily Johnny had a good recovery. Still though, when the guy that's also in the championship five is 2 for 2 in the races, it
Yeah.
really applies the pressure. But I think, and I'll think even Anthony will admit this, he's stolen a couple wins here in this final round. I think
Yeah,
maybe
Atlanta.
maybe him and Jim would have been a really good battle. I don't know. Jim was obviously still really fast, led 44 laps, but yeah, and, we talked about last week. I mean, that one was a gift, and even he knew that. But
Yeah. And honestly, Anthony got extremely lucky at Atlanta, and I think he'd tell you this. When him and Jim get together, Anthony turns hard right into the wall at one of the fastest points on the racetrack, coming
yeah,
out
we
of
thought he was
the
done.
dog leg. I thought for sure he was done there, and I don't think he had even a minute's worth of damage there. I mean, he just kind of started driving back to the pack. So I will say, if you took that race and ran it under the current damage model that came out this week, I don't think Anthony would have finished that race. Um, there was another update this week, and the damage model was updated. Now the fenders flop up and down in the air when you wreck.
Yep.
But from a little bit of practice I've done, I've probably only turned 50 laps this week at Kansas. Um, I will say you just brush the wall again with these cars, and you have wheel damage. So
I hate that I'm missing Kansas. I
I think
love Kansas.
a lot of people tend to get tight off turn four at Kansas and brush that wall. Um,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think I did it 3 times the night we practiced, and I think 2 of the times, and they were not hard hits. Like they didn't even hardly shake the wheel. I had wheel damage, so um, I think it's gonna be interesting. Um,
It'll be a battle of attrition. Um, yeah, it should be. I don't even know the points gap right now. I'm sure it's pretty decent, but yeah, we
I
can go
had that up.
through.
Let's run through the full results, and I'll bring that up.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll go through the race results. So as we said, Anthony Calantoni picks up, I believe, what is his sixth, seventh win this season.
Seventh.
Jeff Pogo second. Scott Simley a nice run in third. Johnny Barker great recovery back up to fourth. Steve Ritter finishes fifth. Jim Ott sixth. Nate Brooker seventh. Rob Ewer in eighth. Grant was in ninth. Grant Humphrey that is. Chris Pogar 10th. Brendan Hinton 11th. Todd Parent 12th. Arabia Kate in 13th. Sean Deal 14th. Myself in 15th. Eli 16th. Joe Hudson 17th. Michael Strickland 18th. Josh Parker 19th. Nick Larson 20th. Donald Sieve 21st. Devin McCaffrey 22nd. Ron Holyfield 23rd. And Evan Fuka 24th. Ugh.
So
I was having a good run. I should have been about 7th or 8th with you.
yeah, you and I were together most of the race there.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt like we
Eventually
both just
I did.
I felt we were good for like 20 laps, and then we struggled, both of us. Um,
Yeah, I just like the car still felt like stable enough, but I didn't have the speed that
yep,
everybody else had.
I will. I will say the same thing.
Well, I should say stable enough until I about wrecked it off turn 2. Then I did the same thing off turn 4, and I was like, fucking 10 laps to go. I'm not even gonna put a set of tires on and go out there and try to be Superman and race around people. That's just not not what I need to do. So I just parked it.
So, current point standings going into Kansas tonight. Anthony Calatoni leads at 5,095 points. Johnny Barker is second. He's 23 points back at 5,072. Nick Larson is third. 5,063. He's 32 points back. Jim Ott is fourth, 34 points back. And I am fifth, 39 points back. So I'd say there's a hell of a battle between Nick, Jim, and I for fifth. We have a shot at second. There's Johnny. Like I said, I think the only way Anthony doesn't win this is something happens early in the race, and
Or hopefully
that
there's a
gives
huge
Johnny a
snowstorm that
chance.
hits New York
But
City.
for Nick, Jim, and I think we need a a miracle of like a 2012 movie style snowstorm hitting
Yeah. Anthony's got
Anthony
to go
this
plow one
weekend. He
tonight.
has to go plow. So, um, we've had some people join the roster um, this week and last week, and what I say is we got a full length race tonight. Points battle, I'd say, is stable. I guess that's the word. Is that a good word to describe it? Um, if guys want to come out and race, come out and race. Just race respectful and have fun. It's 267 laps. It'd be nice to see 30 cars out there. So um, that's my thought on it. What are your thoughts, Braden?
Um, yeah. I mean, basically the same thing. Just as always, be mindful of what the guys are running for. I know it may not seem like it, but there's points battles still throughout the whole field. I'll go outside the playoff drivers. We got Steve Ritter. He's only 6 points behind Pogo for sixth to be kind of the best of the rest. That's a nice little battle. Um, I won't be there, so this is. I think I'm going to drop out of the top 10 even. But you got technically a good battle there. Eli can pass me. He's 1 point behind me. Arabia's right there. I mean, still lots of battles throughout the field, but yeah, just be mindful who you're racing around. And the long race tonight, 400 miles is. It's going to be a race of attrition, in my opinion. Okay? You can't win definitely can't win on lap one. Any week you can't, but even 200 lap or 120 laps into this race, you can't win it, which is like a normal distance for a mile and a half. So, a lot of race, give each other room, and Kansas is a lot of fun to race at. That's all I got to say. This is my favorite track to rip the fence.
So let's talk about the format tonight. It's our usual, practice times, qualifying, all that. So you get 5 sets of tires in the pits. The set you start on, so 6 total sets. Full fuel load. Um, there is tire wear at Kansas, so I think that's going to be an interesting aspect of this. Um, I think there's going to be a lot of different strategies out there.
Yep.
And
Oh yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't know what mine is going to be here.
So I've raced 3 races at Kansas this week with a couple other leagues, and I had a strategy going in each one of those races, and my strategy changed in each one of those races as the race was going on. So yeah, especially like a full length race, I wouldn't know even where to start with what kind of strategy I'd want to do. So I think, as obviously something that's not in the race now, I think I'd be trying to go as long as I could on my fuel every run and trying to bank on saving a set of tires. Even if I leave a set of tires on the wall, that would be my game plan at the start of this. Because at the end of one of my races, it took guys with fresh tires. So there was a caution with 25 to go, and a couple of us took tires then, thinking that's good. And then we had another caution with about 12 to go, and we restarted around 9 or 10 to go. And those guys came up and passed us. And
Yeah, there
it,
is.
they weren't like, it's not like we were restarting first and second, and they were only a couple. These guys were 15th restarting with fresh tires. So I think that's my mentality, is I want to leave a set on the wall, even if I have to. Because you get that late race caution, them fresh tires will matter.
Yeah, I think the aspect here that maybe we haven't talked enough about or even mentioned yet is, so this race is going to start late afternoon. Race time, I think, start is 5 o'clock, 4:30 maybe, and then did bump up the time acceleration. So this race is going to go through this transition, afternoon heat into sunset, and this race will finish under the lights tonight at Kansas. So it's kind of going to be that full spectrum of hot and slimy early, and then it will, go from there.
And that'll be a big factor too, is like the beginning of this race,
Excuse me.
being able to save those tires. Because You get 30 laps into this run, you get a caution, you're going to be screaming, I want fucking tires right now. And you have to have, in my opinion, you have to have that patience to be like, no, I can't take them right now. I can't take them on lap 30. That's my opinion. It could be the wrong opinion. It could be, but I really think you're gonna want to save them tires as best you can and try to go out your full fuel run before you even think of getting tires. And I think a full fuel run is probably around 55 to 65 laps. I don't know exactly. I haven't raced the next. Well, I have raced the next gen car, but those haven't been full fuel loads. So that's my quick and simple math as somebody that's not gonna be in the race tonight. And yeah, I'll be watching. I'll be watching because I'm hoping that I can get on the broadcast with Brett. But
Yeah, I haven't looked at what your guys' schedule even looks like tonight, but let me look right now. Let me see what the schedule of events is, and we'll see maybe we can get. Well, I'll make a prediction what time I think you'll be hopping on the broadcast. You got what, about 20-minute drive home from the track?
later at night, I can make it at about 15.
Um, I don't see. I know they have it posted somewhere. They always do.
I was gonna say they usually post it.
Here it is. So it looks like. Oh, so your green flag is at 4. So you guys are an hour earlier than us for yesterday. But you are behind the sportsman modified feature. I'm gonna say we're not gonna see you any before 9 o'clock, eight
Yeah, that's
thirty.
roughly what I was thinking.
Somewhere between 8:30 and 9 is the guess where
8:30.
you'll make
Yep.
your appearance on the broadcast. Though I may be wrong because Mike is pretty good about with school nights and stuff getting things pushed right along.
Yeah,
So
they'll be really pushing through fast, and I don't know how many 358s did you guys end up with at the bowl yesterday?
29,
That's kind of where I'm basing my car count off.
29.
29, yeah.
Yep.
So probably around that. I don't. You guys, did you run a consi or no?
No.
Yeah, so that'll knock off two things there. I think it'll go pretty quickly. I did mini stock B feature. Dang. Hopefully they get rid of that too. That'll get rid of another race in between the sportsmen's and
There was
once
they had
once
to
we
run.
once we get rid of
They ran 2
they
mini
did.
stock features last night at Devil's Bowl because there was over 40 of them. They wanted everyone to race.
Dang. I ain't gonna lie, the Crown Vics have got me intrigued. I've been looking at Crown Vics for myself because just something about that just sounds like it'd be a hell of a fun, like a lot of fun.
I watched a YouTube video of a track down south that had 50 some odd Crown Vics show up the race. They started like 32 of them on a 4/10 mile track. It was insane. I can see why they're big down south. I mean, the cars last longer down there, so there's more of them than the junkyards to go get one and
Oh
to
yeah.
race it. But
Well, not only that, you can get them in bulk. You get old cop car fleets. I mean,
yeah.
you'd probably buy a 10 pack for cheap. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when I get back, and that hopefully I can jump on and help Brett talk for a little bit.
So yeah. So then, real quick, the Elite Series. I just looked this morning. We're up to 35 drivers signed up for Thursday nights. Um, and then the Truck Series, you're I think what right around
Yeah,
30, right?
yeah. I think last I counted was 25 or so, and then a few more have even. I got three more on there, so yeah. And most of them already have applied and are in the league, so looking pretty strong for Tuesday nights also.
So
So we still have plenty of racing coming up once May starts. The truck starts May 5th, and then the Elite Series technically starts, what is that, the 14th, but the real season doesn't start until the first week of June. So we got three
correct.
pre-season races for the Elite Series.
I'm gonna bring that. Hold on a minute. I can bring the schedule for both down. So there's the elite schedule. May 14th is the first race. It's preseason race one. Then the 21st, 28th. Just there's another league. Sim 500 runs a limited truck race, a limited truck series on Thursday nights. That's somewhere our guys are running in. I didn't want to make those guys make a choice, so we just made these three races preseason. They're going to be broadcast. Um, it'll kind of give the guys from Freaky Fast a chance to get to know our racers. And we know guys like to race when it's broadcast. So Dover, Charlotte, Nashville will all be broadcast. Just no points on the line. Just kind of go out and fill each other out.
Bragging
And then,
rights.
yep. And then June 4th, we get into the actual point season. It follows the NASCAR Cup Series actual schedule, except for road courses. So we threw Old Atlanta in there week 3. Believe that's Sonoma. And then we threw
Texas. Yep.
Texas Legacy in on June 25th. That's the San Diego road course.
Yep. I
And
think
then
that's the only two.
yep. And then NASCAR went and Marcus Smith went and took care of the Roval for us in October and put the Cup cars back on the oval there for
Did
that. So
did the right thing.
yep. So after all except two weeks, you're gonna be able to what I love about this is you can go out and you can practice the in the officials for our league race, full fuel load, the whole 9 yards. It'll be fun. So, and then let me get your truck up. Close that one. Here's the truck schedule. It starts May 5th at Charlotte. That's a great track to start out at.
Yeah, I figure a lot of mile and a halves, and some of the bigger short tracks. I really wanted to go back to like what the truck series like originally was, like South Boston and all them short tracks. But I was like, no, I don't want to turn it into that because I want to have bigger fields than just you get 30 trucks on on South Boston. That might be disaster. So we kind of went some bigger tracks. I think every track on here has been a part of the truck schedule at one point or another. Obviously, threw a road course on there, just one Lime Rock. It's a small one. They currently race there, I still think, this year. And then my favorite one's Eldora. I mean,
I
the
saw
truck should
that.
have never stopped racing on dirt. Um, I've tested the dirt fixed iRacing setup. It still runs great at Eldora, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, I think it's a good mix of tracks, shorter events. So yeah, we got a good car count so far. So I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I didn't announce it last week, but we do have a broadcaster. Fearless Broadcasting is going to come on. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Chris Maxwell is going to be our announcer. He's in the Discord, so anybody that's listening in here, that's introduce yourself to Chris. They're a great bunch of guys, and looking forward to see how this partnership can work out with the truck series.
Yeah, and I checked out some of their stuff on YouTube. It looks like they really take a lot of pride in their graphics package. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I watched a bunch, and I was really impressed. And yeah, I asked out. I put a few other feelers out to some other ones. But yeah, once watching a few of their broadcasts, I was like, yeah, I think these guys will be a good fit for what I'm trying to do with the series.
yeah, so just look forward to tonight. I think it'll be fun. Gonna be a little bit of a later night than usual. So, um, rest up, guys. Hydrate before the race. Um, hoping to see. It'd be great if we get up to like 30 trucks, 25 to 30 trucks. I would be very happy for that. And I think it's just a race where we all gotta show some patience and just have fun.
Well, well, speaking of Kansas, we got to go over the Busch race still and wrap up that season.
Right, but aren't we gonna do that next week. We said.
Oh yeah, I forgot another I forgot the podcast season is not ending. You were
No,
right, Rob.
because we're gonna have a podcast next week to wrap up the Cup Series. So,
Yep. So yeah,
um,
we'll go over that next week. But
I think that's everything we need to touch on this week.
yeah, we did trucks, we did elite, we got race recaps. I think the only other thing is if you want to make a pick for tonight. I think that's the only other thing I can think of.
yeah, we make
I'm going.
picks.
I'm going real chalky. I'm picking my teammate, picking the 97. This is his kind of race. Longevity race. I got Pogo.
I really want to pick a teammate, but I jinx him every time I do, so I'm not doing that. Um, Chris Muse.
I will say there were.
Chris
Yeah,
Muse.
yep.
He uh he had long run speed, and
Atlanta.
he had long run speed last week at Kansas in the Outcast Racing League.
Ooh.
He won that race, and he won it pretty handedly. So I'm gonna go with Chris Muse.
All right, there it is. 97-3.
That way I'm not picking a teammate, because every time I do, I jinx him.
I'll jinx Pogo. It don't bother me.
Did you pick Jim
But
last week?
yeah, I think I did.
And you jinxed him. You jinxed him with the black flag. So
Bad.
I think the last couple times you picked your teammates, they've wrecked or got black flags. So maybe you should stop doing
Yeah,
that like I have.
but they're good. They're good at these style of races, and I think next year when we start doing picks, we're going to keep track so we can't pick the same guys over and over. Maybe
Oh,
like we can
DBC
pick each
style.
guy
I like
twice.
that.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
maybe each guy twice because obviously there's a lot more turnover.
I
We don't
think
have
I
charters
think
where
we
these
do
guys
it.
have to lock
I
in.
think we do it just like DBC does. We do it for regular seasons
Yeah, then
and
they reset for the playoffs.
reset for the
Yeah, I like.
playoffs, and each week the guest gets to pick somebody,
Yeah,
and we keep track of the points. We keep track of the points somewhere on the. Maybe we'll just make a whole section of the Discord for that. Everyone can do fantasy. So
yeah, I like
maybe
that.
we'll do it for the Elite Series this summer, and then not do the Cup Series this summer. We'll just do the Elite Series, and there's no
Yeah,
playoffs
I
here,
like
so
that.
everyone gets to pick somebody once. What do you think of that?
I like it. I like it. I like picking guys. It's fun, but I do have a lot of repetitive picks, so I don't want to. That's the one change I do like that we will make is that you can't pick the same guy more than once.
So
But
okay, Brandon.
all right, yeah,
Have
I'm
fun at
gonna
the
get
track
ready to
tonight. Try to stay warm.
yeah.
I know it got real cold Friday night at Malta. It was a little bit better. Well, maybe it wasn't better last night at Devil's Bowl. Maybe just because I had my Bicknell winter coat on last night. I didn't have it on Friday night, but it was
That
definitely
might
winter
have been
coat
a
night the
little.
last 2 nights for us. So hopefully it's a little bit warmer for you today.
Oh yeah, I always. You never know what can happen at the racetrack, so you always go prepared. Um, but yeah, hopefully it'll be a fun night at the track. Obviously the Leon Gagne Memorial, so that's kind of why I'm going there. I wouldn't just go to any race because I'm not part of a race team anymore. But when it's the Memorial race, it's almost an obligation. I gotta go, so it'll be good to see a bunch of guys that I haven't
Leon's
seen
car
in a
gonna be there.
while. I don't think so. I think Matt has actually recently taken it apart to like do some like cleaning and maintenance on it.
Yeah.
If I could be wrong, but last time my dad had talked to him, the car was apart a little bit because it's just been sitting there for a while. So I think he wants to just like go through and just redo like the motor mostly.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't think the car will be at the track. But if it is, it'll be a nice surprise to me because it's been a few years since I've seen the car. And yeah, either way, it'll still be a good race and be good to be back. I haven't been at the track since last year's Leon Gagne Memorial race. So, I mean, I've been to other racetracks, but those are different in my mind than like the ones I would go to weekly.
Right.
So it'd be good to be back and see a bunch of familiar faces.
Okay, Brandon. We will. Hopefully, maybe I can talk to you after the race tonight if I get in the top 3, and if not, we will talk next week on the podcast.
All right. Until then, thanks for listening. See you guys next week.
Yep. Thanks for listening to the podcast, and we'll be back next week. Have a good night, everyone.